Hello, my name is Abby. Welcome to We the Kids. Our program is about getting kids interested in history. I would like to introduce our We the Kids reporters, Kate, Gabby. I would like to introduce our special guests for today, Mariah Woolley. Our focus today will be Mariah speaking on her music career and her family member who signed our Constitution. At the end, the three girls will play a violin trio and Mariah will play a solo.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Mariah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about playing violin?
I guess, I don't know, there's not much to say. I mean, I play the violin, it's kind of my life, I don't know. I guess I started playing when I was 10 years old in the school music program they had. So it was 5th grade, and so I started with a whole bunch of other kids, and it was a good thing, but it was kind of a bad thing because I learned a lot of bad habits just because the teacher couldn't watch all of us all at once. But and then I guess after that I started getting really serious into music when I was probably about 14 or 15. I started that's what I knew I wanted to do with my life. I don't know, and I started practicing all the time, and it was I don't know, I got really obsessed, and then I started taking private lessons, and I don't know, that's basically all there is to say, but yeah.
So how has violin helped you overcome illness and adversity?
That's kind of a long story. Basically, actually, it was right around the same time that I started playing the violin. I became ill. I came down with something. They are not sure what it was, but it was probably meningitis, and actually Lyme disease as well, which caused all sorts of crazy health issues. It caused a heart arrhythmia actually, which makes your heart beat out of sync, and it called a lung QT, and it would make me have these crazy blood pressure swings and things, and life just kind of got really complicated because the meningitis or whatever it was also caused brain damage. So I went from being an excellent math student to being almost unable to do any kind of math at all, and I lost a lot of vocabulary ability and spelling. I could hardly spell words anymore. But it's really interesting because it kind of opened the door to open other channels and pathways in my brain. So I ended up getting really interested in music and art, and I would spend, well, actually at the time I would spend a lot of my time painting as opposed to practicing the violin. But it's weird because it kind of led me into wanting to be a violinist, because actually I wanted to be an illustrator, and so I fell in love with the Lord of the Rings and many of the illustrators who had worked on those, and then I started listening to the music that they had written, Howard Shore had written for the movies. And I remember one night laying on my bed, I was crying listening to this music. And it was that moment when I decided that I wanted to be a musician, because listening to that music had kind of healed me. It had given me an escape from all of the weird medical things that were going on, and the testing that I had to go through all the time, where I would go to all sorts of doctors trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and all these treatments. And I just realized at that moment that music has such an amazing power over people, to heal your soul and your body, even physically. It just makes you feel comfortable, and that's really why I want to be a violinist. It's why I would also like to write music, because I think it has an amazing power in it. It's interesting though, because I'd also like to paint things. It sounds kind of strange because not very many people do this. I don't even know if there is anyone who does this now. But I actually want to write music that is also accompanied by paintings. So I would like to paint pictures for the music that I write, based on things. And I don't know, I guess that kind of explains what I'm interested in doing, but yeah.
So I'm told you have a relative who signed the Constitution 200 years ago, and what is that like, and what does it mean to you?
It's pretty interesting. His name was Abraham Baldwin, and he was from Georgia. And honestly, I don't know that much more about him. I know he was a preacher. He graduated from Yale, and he was offered the position of the professor of divinity, but he declined, and then he went to Georgia, I guess, and started law practice, I think, and then he went on to be part of the the House of Representatives, and he also served in the Senate, and he was part of the Constitutional Convention and representing Georgia, and I don't know. Other than that, I don't know much. I guess that actually sounds like a lot, but okay.
So you mentioned earlier that you like art. Could you tell us more about it and, your passion for it? And
oh goodness, this is stopping me. My mind is going blank. I don't know. It was. I guess I kind of explained that. I mean, I'd like to paint pictures for music that I've written. I don't know. Goodness, I'm drawing a blank on this one. I mean, I also would like to. I have this really big plan, I guess, for this piece of music that is videos and photography, because I'm also a photographer, kind of in my spare time, which there isn't a lot of, but I'd also like to. I'd like to go and take videos and images from all over the world, and I'd even like to get pictures from NASA and things, and get images from the sky and the thing, and I'd like to write this absolutely enormous composition, this big symphony thing, with I could just totally see it opening with this big bass drum solo, and you're sitting in this theater or whatever in this concert hall, and you're sitting in this complete black, and then all of a sudden on the screen up comes this picture of this galaxy, and it's just awesome. But I don't know. Usually when I'm painting things, I don't know. I hear it's weird, but when I paint things, I think about what it would sound like if it were music, because those two things are kind of connected to me. I don't know. And I know lots of when I see paintings in an art gallery or something, and I see them, I usually imagine them as pieces of music. And there's actually several paintings that I'd also like to write music based on. It's kind of funny because Whistler painted many pictures that were also he titled them symphony in white or something, or nocturne in blue and gold. And I think it would be really cool, since no one has written music that based on those paintings, to go back and take those and write music for them as well. And I think that would just be fun. I don't know.
Can you imagine your life without music or art?
God, I can't, because it changed my life so much, and it helped me through being sick and everything. I honestly can't. My life would be so different if I weren't a musician, that it's hard to even think about what it would be like. I mean, before I got sick, my main goal in life was to be either a paleontologist or an archaeologist, but that really wouldn't have been possible if since I lost all of my math ability, and to get into college and do all of the the science and things that you'd have to do wouldn't really have been possible at that point. So it's kind of a good thing that I got interested in music, because it was just yeah, it helped. So I don't know.
So what do you want people to know about you as a person?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, other than the fact that I'm a violinist and a musician, I don't know, there's not much else to say. I don't know. I guess I I care a lot about people. I don't know, is that something you can say? I mean, I want to be a musician because I want to help people. Like, it's not like you're kind of like you're doing the same thing as like being a nurse or something, but in a lot of ways I think it's almost better. Like, I mean, not better, but it heals in a different way. Like, it serves to, like, I mean, being a doctor or something can like heal your body, but it doesn't always heal your soul and like heal you like on the inside. And the reason I want to be a musician is because like it helped me, like all the doctors were taking care of like all of the physical stuff, and then but the music is what really brought me out and like just got me into like I don't know, it just helped me through like stuff, and I don't know.
If you could say anything to the children of America, what would you tell them?
I'd probably say don't give up on your dreams, because sometimes it can be hard, well, especially if you are interested in going into something like art or music, and it can be really hard because people will tell you that's not a good thing to do, you should try something that will get you more money or like make you more like friends or something, I don't know. Just, but if you know that there's something you want to do, just go for it. Go all out with what you want to do, because that's what you need to do. Like, if there's even like this like little tiny feeling that says you need to go do this, then you should, and don't let all the people that tell you can't do it like get in the way, because like you can, and yeah.
That's really good advice. Why do you think the Constitution is important to our nation and its children?
Goodness. I was trying to answer this one. I don't know. I'm not sure about like kids, why it's important. I mean, I guess it's important because it gives us like freedom, I guess. I mean, I would say that it has been important in the past, because it opened the doors to have freedom, to like create, like give us the ability to like do so many things. Like, if you think about it, that was the beginning, like the opening of the doors for like so much innovation and everything, where there weren't like major regulations, and like the government didn't have its hand in like everything that like, so they didn't tell you that you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that, and it gave us like so many things. Like, if we hadn't had that, we probably wouldn't have all of the technology and like all of the like music that we have now, or like the books and everything that were like existed and exist now, because it gave us like freedom. Because I mean, in countries where they don't have that, or where they didn't have that, everything was so much more difficult to like open up like for innovation and things. I mean, if you look at like Nazi Germany, and like, I mean, that's an extreme case, but I mean, there was so much regulation. Or like in Russia, like in Soviet Russia, I know there were so many musicians and composers at the time who were just completely nervous and worried that the Soviets would come and take them because they weren't following the rules, like doing what they should do. And actually, Dmitry Shostakovich, he never left his house without a toothbrush and a comb, because he was always afraid that they would come and get him, and he cared that his hair looked nice and that he had nice teeth. So he always carried those around in his pocket with him, just in case they would come and get him. But I mean, it's funny, but it's almost kind of sad, because, you know, they didn't have freedom, and, you know, that's what we need, is, you know, freedom to do things, to make art, to make music, to make works of literature, but also, I mean, just like computers and airplanes and things. But it really should be left up to the people who are making them, because they're the ones who know what needs to be done and like what should be. So, I guess.
So, who is your favorite person in history, or, you know, just a person you admire?
I'm not sure about that one either. I guess I mean, my favorite people are always going to be like composers and painters and things. I don't know. I guess that would be my answer. I don't know. There's not really one person. It's hard to pick like one person out and like say he's my favorite. I've always been terrible at picking out favorites anyway. Don't even have a favorite color. So, but I don't know. I mean, my favorite composer is probably Gustav Mahler, but it's always a toss-up between Mahler and Beethoven because their music is just like so beautiful, and I don't know. I can't even explain it. I mean, you can't explain music. If you could, I mean, we wouldn't really need it because, I mean, if you could say it in words, you wouldn't need music. So,
what's your favorite piece of music?
Actually, I can't say his name. It's by a Finnish composer. I don't remember how to say his name. I think his last name is Rautavura, but it's a piece called Cantus Arcticus, and it's actually subtitled A Concerto for Birds and Orchestra. It's not nearly as silly as it sounds. It's actually amazingly beautiful. He went to the bogs and marshes in the Arctic Circle, like in Finland, and he took recordings of the birds in migration there and such, and then he wrote music over the top of that. Which it's not just like when you like have a CD where it's like bird song with piano or whatever, but it's actually really cool because the interplay between like the birds that he recorded and the way he uses the orchestra around that is just really amazing. And like there's this part in the first movement where the it's all these like bird sounds, like it's like all this chatter, but then over the top of that this like cello section solo comes in, and it's just like this rich, lush melody, and it doesn't sound like noise anymore. It's just like, it's beautiful, like it really amplifies like the natural sounds, and I don't know, I'm just kind of in love with it. At least that's my current favorite piece of music. I don't know, I go through stages, but
Can you tell us what else you do in your free time besides music and art?
I don't know. Mostly I just practice music, and when I'm not doing that, I am usually eating dinner. Or, I don't know, sometimes I play silly games on the computer. Well, I guess I read. I read a lot of books. Actually, I'm currently reading through the complete works of William Shakespeare, which is taking forever. There's like so many, I don't know, but I have this giant book that's like that thick. So I'm reading all the plays and everything. But so I read a lot when I'm not playing music, and I don't know, I like reading. I guess.
Is there anything you like to add about yourself?
I don't think so.
In the Constitution has helped America change, you know, in the last 200 years so much. Where do you see America in the next 200 years?
Gosh, I don't even know. I mean, it's kind of difficult to like predict the future. I mean, people have tried and it doesn't really work. I don't know. I would like to say that it would still be around and be what it is, but I mean, I don't really know. Like everything, like the world is changing so much right now that it just like, you know, maybe not. Maybe it's something different, but you know, I mean, it is changing, and I honestly can't really see America being like here in 200 years, but I mean, maybe, hopefully.
Can you tell us a little more about Baldwin, please?
I don't really know that much more about him. I mean, there's the pictures over there. I mean, that's what he looked like, such. But I don't know. I mean, he was in the Continental Army during the Revolution, actually, He was a chaplain, so he didn't do much fighting, but he was apparently very important, at least that's what the records say anyway, that he helped a lot of people, like, you know, helped with like morale and everything. So I guess that's, he taught at he started Georgia State University. So, and there's a county in Georgia named after him, actually. So I think it's Baldwin County. So I don't know, but I don't know. There's not much else I can say. That's really all, mostly that they know about him anyway. That's like really interesting, I guess. But
well, it's really amazing that you're related to someone who signed the Constitution.
It's kind of weird. Like, sometimes you'll be talking about something and someone will bring up like the Constitution and you're like, oh, my relative signed that. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Well, good luck in your future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We actually have a gift for you. Thank you. This is a We the Kids shirt.
Thank you.
And a book by David Bowman called What Would the Founding Fathers Think? And if you would like to learn more about We the Kids, you can just go to wethekids.us.